This entire journey started with this book, Good Vibes and Good Life by Vex King. This is a good book, helps you figure out more of changing your perception, trying to be more positive, and long story short, it helps you start manifesting your reality. So before we even talk about all of that, because I'm not going to, this video is just dedicated to how I help put the pieces together to basically try and figure out consciousness, at least my perception of it, because my philosophy is everything is perspective. Everybody has their own perspective. So I'm not here to try and sway you or make you change your opinion on whatever it is that you believe is right or real for you. Whatever you believe is whatever you believe. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple of the teachings that I got. So it started with Vex King, and then I went over to Neuro Knowledge, and he started breaking down like the cosmic order. And of course, a lot of this stuff is going to sound biblical. And by the way, I am not the first person to ever talk about this stuff, nor will I be the last. A lot of the stuff that I'm talking about have been regurgitated and taught by several people, from philosophers from a long time ago, like Aristotle, all the way up till now, your boy Kunshan, you feel me? So this is me taking all of these teachings and trying to logically put it into perspective. And that's why I had to say all this within like 3 minutes, so you guys can try and get what I'm going for. So here is the roadmap, right? So what I learned from Neuro Knowledge is about the cosmic order, right? There's two things when it comes to manifestation: the kingdom of heaven, and then things will happen, right? So define the kingdom of heaven. What is this? Heaven is not a place, it's what's inside of you. Now, like I said, this is going to get pretty biblical. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. How do you access the kingdom of heaven, right? So there's serenity, calm, loss of time, and joy. These things are what create a higher frequency within your body, because we are electric beings. We do have these frequencies. When you have a super low frequency, expect everything in your world to fall around you. Whenever everything is crumbling and you're like, oh, I can't do this. Life is so hard. Every time I try and do something, blase, bad things happen. That's why I said reading this book helped me change that frequency, right? Whenever you start saying more positive things, or you start looking towards more positive outcomes, even if something bad does happen, saying, hey, even though something bad happened, let's try and spin it in a more positive manner, because that's just how the subconscious mind works. So the subconscious mind is basically the almighty mind within inside your body. And I'm pretty sure the subconscious mind is heaven, though there's been no teachings that I personally found that correlate this. But if I was going to logically present this to you, which is what I'm doing, I'm trying to logically explain it to you. The kingdom of heaven would be either the subconscious, or the subconscious is part of your heaven. And the subconscious never forgets. Whatever it is, whatever happens, you plant these seeds inside your subconscious, which create the reality around you. So whenever you say bad things, or you feel a certain type of way, but you outwardly express it in a negative way, the subconscious hears it. And the subconscious will plant that seed of whatever it is that you did, and it'll eventually sprout it. So that's why when people say you should be more positive, you say more positive things, it's to benefit you. Whenever you say a more positive thing, that gets put into your subconscious, and that seed will eventually grow and manifest some type of positivity. And if you're always positive, and it's not like being delusional positive, right? Like, we have good and bad days, right? It's life, right? It's going to fluctuate, and it's just how it is. But it's whenever there is something that's bad, or something goes down that's not correct, or not the way you wanted it, you still try and spin it in a way that's more positive than more negative. For example, I've always said, and never give up. Like, that is legitimately my life motto. However corny or cheesy you might think it is, never giving up has created the reality that I live now, and it will create a better reality moving forward, because I just never give up in it. Even if you wanted to break it down and ignore all of this pseudoscience or whatever you want to call it, if you only just wanted to be 100% realistic, by the way, being realistic is not even a good thing, because There are things in this world that we cannot explain realistically. There are going to be things that you have to outwardly wrap your mind around it by growing your consciousness, right? There's consciousness levels. There's people that are down here that only think about themselves. There are people that only think about their friends, and there's people that think about other people besides themselves. And then there's people that, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely channels you can go out and you can find these other things and figure these things out. Whole Math is all, shout out to Whole Math, because Whole Math also, you know, led me on this path of consciousness, right? So I took the consciousness aspect, and then I took the vibrational aspect, and then I took the manifestation aspect, and now I am taking more of the biblical explanatory aspect on how our consciousness works and how we work as beings. Cosmic order, and you find this thing and you find this stuff inside of you. So manifestation, right? Because a lot of people want to live a better life. There's nobody that legitimately says, hey, I want to have a bad life. Nobody lives like that, right? So for manifestation, the real true meaning of manifestation is shifting internally to a degree where you no longer emotionally depend upon seeing reality change. You need to basically just love yourself. I'm not going to even really try and break it down even more. I think everybody can understand the concept of loving yourself. So if you love yourself, you don't feel the need to change your reality. Even though you might work at a place that you might not enjoy, there's parts of it that you do enjoy, because if you didn't enjoy it, you would have quit. Whether it's the money or the coworkers or the environment or whatever, if you didn't like it, you would quit. But you're still there. And then you're not just there because of money, because if you're just there for money, there's several jobs you can do online, and there's several illegal things you can do for money. So whenever you're in a situation that you don't enjoy, or something that you particularly want to change, instead of wanting to change it, you need to change yourself. You need to look inside yourself. There's been times where, you know, I was in the military and absolutely hated where I was at, whether it was a desert or all these other places. But even then, I still tried to find the best of it. At least I'm still with my friends. At least I'm still around people, and we still have good times, even though we're in the middle of nowhere and we're stuck here, right? The bonds that we share. These are the things that it kept me going, and I think it can keep you going. And by the way, this has been a long journey for your boy, okay? This isn't something that just is popped up in the last 2 years, man. I've always lived my life with the never giving up mentality. And a lot of it came from Kishimoto. You know, shout out to Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto. Everything we learn, whether we learn it from a video game, from a movie, from your parents, from the neighbors, you're going to learn it. You're going to absorb it, and it's going to fall into your subconsciousness, whether you realize it or not, right? So me hearing never give up, stuff like that is what brought me here. Continuing manifestation, right? You want to make a better reality for yourself. You need to start believing in yourself, believing in whatever it is. And it's not bending the world to your reality or making the world into the reality that you want. It's understanding, hey, this is who I am. This is my representation of myself. And I'm moving in a more positive and high frequency manner, which will bring the abundance, the joy, the things that you really want. And it starts emotionally, because thinking about it, you know, writing it down is good, of course, but writing it down is just part of it. You also have to believe it. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. The heart is stronger than the mind. And I wrote that in the notes, right? For your desired reality. Down here, we're humans, we're electric beings, right? Electromagnetic beings. So electric thoughts frequency. Now the thoughts frequency is not as strong as the magnetic. The magnetic is the heart, emotions, and frequency. If you want a more deep dive, like I said, neuro knowledge, you definitely should go check him out if you want to learn more about the cosmic order, right? He talks about that. And this is just a crash course, right? If you want a more detailed version of everything that I'm learning, I'm going to have a book, so you can purchase the book and you can read it for yourself in due time, right? So that's basically how heaven works. Now, when we talk about heaven, of course, we're going to talk about God. And when we talk about God, we're going to talk about angels. And that's on the next page, which is someone that I, just learned from. Rest in peace, right? William Donahue. Whatever you have to say about William Donahue is whatever you have to say. But what I just learned from watching his 1 hour, 40-minute video, right? His video was called Life Purpose, Why Are We Here? But what I took from it, life purpose, how are we here? How are we who we are, right? So William Donahue basically explains the yin and the yang. He didn't say yin and yang in his talking or anything, but that's basically how I got it, because I also study Buddhism while I live here in Asia. So the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, right? These are the things that live inside of us. What is an angel? So scientists have said that angels are basically light particles. So light particles, that is the soul, that is the thing that's inside of us, right? That is part of our, and this is why I also say like the subconscious is, it's either heaven or part of heaven, because where would this angel reside? Where would this angel be at that's inside of us? Where would this light particle be? You know, when somebody passes away, you can see the light fade from their eyes. That consciousness, that angel, that spirit, that whatever you want to call it, is inside. Angels are light particles. Humans are born with umbilical cords. If you cut the cord too soon, the fetus expires. The fetus will live when the light particle enters the body, creating life. You aren't just human, you are energy that comes from the light particles. If you meditate and look for your inner light, you can manifest your reality. The light leaves the body and is transferred after the human consciousness ceases, logically explaining reincarnation, right? After the light fades and it leaves the body, it's still gonna go somewhere else. It doesn't just disappear. It goes into a new being. Now, with Buddhism, human realm, the animal realm, all these other realms, right? The samsara, I haven't dove that deep yet. So this is just me kind of trying to put it together, but it's not all the way there. But I think it's enough I think this is enough for a lot of people to just wake up and just say, hey, damn, I can actually have a better life. So this is why I just made this video, like, right here. For me to dive more deep into it, I definitely will, because that's just who I am, but I'm not there yet. So to try and explain samsara, the principle of life and death and rebirth, reincarnation, this is just a logical explanation on how it will work, right? By the way, again, I am not trying to sway you on whatever it is you believe. This is just me taking things and putting it together and then sharing it with the world, and because I like sharing it, and I know for a fact it'll help some people. There are people in my life I've legitimately helped, and people have told me that I have saved their lives. I'm not here to say that I'm a savior, but I have helped people's lives, and you can too. I mean, it's not hard to save people's lives. You just need to figure yourself out first, and then you can try and figure out other people's problems. So, heaven is inside you, and so is your angel. God is not for the dead, but for the living. So this is what William Donahue was explaining. And he had all the Bible verses, right? So he had, go to page whatever, and it says in the Bible, right? God is you. God is me, right? Jesus Christ died for our sins. That's in the Bible too. Whether you believe that or not is whatever. But if we think about God, Jesus, right? Because I was born Christian, or I was raised Christian, so I wasn't born a Christian. I was raised a Christian as a child, right? And then you go through life and you figure out whatever it is that you want to believe in. This is basically what I'm believing, trying to use science, logic, and the emotional feeling as well. I'm not going to just use one, two. I'm going to use all three to try and figure it out for myself, and then share it to whoever wants to listen to it. If Jesus is the Son of God and also is God and died for the sins, right? He died for your sins. So you shouldn't look at yourself as a sinner. These things, these saying you're a sinner, saying you're a bad person, saying this and that, that is feeding your subconscious. That is why you still have the issues that you have. You feed your subconscious these bad things. Instead of saying that, you should realize, if Jesus Christ if this Messiah and this figure walked the earth and they did die for our sins, why are you still holding on to it? So, not saying to discredit or discredit Jesus or God, right? Because I do believe that the God that you are looking for is already inside of you, and it's inside of me as well. It's inside of all of us, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, or whether you accept it or not, is a totally different thing. Or you want to accept something else, you want to accept whatever, right? I'm not here to sway you, I'm just here to share. So that's why I think it's very interesting, at least for me, right, to live in this life that I enjoy, this world that I enjoy. And I came from harsh upbringings, man, harsh upbringings. Like I didn't have no silver spoon in my mouth, but my parents did try their best. But I did a lot of the hard work myself. I've had guidance from a couple of mentors, but for something like this, this conversation that we're having, this is something that I've had to come up with using logic, using research, and just because I have an abundance of time, which is, part of having a high frequency. When you have a high frequency, you have a lot of time on your hands. It's just how it works. So having all this time, I started figuring out, hey, maybe I should look for cracking the world of the consciousness and the subconsciousness. And the best way to really show it off is with results, right? I have done everything that I ever wanted as a child, right? I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to join the military. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to have a lot of things. And these things have happened. And it wasn't me praying for it. It was me just never giving up. And that is part of my subconscious and part of who I am. And I'm aware of that fact that I never give up, right? It's awesome. It's a great feeling. I feel absolutely amazing. And I like to just share it because that's just who I am. That is part of me. I have a high frequency and I like to share it. Not just share my frequency with you, but to encourage you to heighten your own frequency, to live the best life that you can live. You could always look at things negatively, right? And this is something I learned from Maximilian Dude. Shout out Maximilian Dude, right? And this is a guy who plays video games on YouTube, mostly fighting games, right? Never thought I'd have to shout him out in a video, especially one like this. But Maximilian Dude, when you play video games, you get upset. But after he would lose in a fighting game, he would say, good game. He would say, that was fun, GG's. And then that's it. And then somebody asked him, why are you so positive or why are you so kind? And his response was, it's easy to be mean. It's hard to be nice. I had to respect it. For you to say it's easier to be mean, and it is. It's easier for people to just say something negative. It's not easy for someone to say something positive, especially after something like a loss. But I think that's what creates a better man. And I learned that when I was 12, 13. I don't remember how old I was when I was watching Max, but I was young. I was young and I still remember that. And I'm 26 now. 26, and I've done this much. And I'm not saying this to brag or to gloat. I'm here to let you know that it is real. It is real. And it only took me now to actually understand it, because even though I am blessed, even though I have blessings, even though my life is amazing, absolutely amazing, I didn't know why until recently, until I decided to pick up a book. Knowledge is absolutely power, but knowledge could also drive you insane. So this is where you also have to find your balance. And this is where I just start preaching what I normally preach. So, right, books closed, right? So normally what I preach, meditation and finding your balance, and everything is a perspective. These are the three things. These are legitimately like the only three things I really preach, because I think these are the things that can help you. If you realize that everything is a perspective, you will understand that what you know is limited to only your view. And unless you can open up your mind for yourself, you will never be able to understand anything besides that. And that is super limiting. And this is why I'm also making the video to the public, because I have no issues hearing what other people have to say. It just depends on if it's being disrespectful or not. If it's being disrespectful, well, then I'm just going to block you and move on, right? This world is full of evil people, and I know this for a fact. So if you're an evil person, I really don't need to listen to you. You have nothing to offer me at all. But to hear what other people have to say, and I share this perspective, I share my perspective with people that I feel are more intelligent book-wise. They have degrees and they are licensed therapists and they're physicians and blah, 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 blah. They have all the titles, right? I'm just a guy that graduated high school, right? I don't have no degree behind my name, at least not yet. But to take what I've learned from myself, and right now I'm actually learning from others and I'm putting it all together, right? Neuro preaches manifestation. Vex King preaches having a good life and raising your vibration. William is preaching there is something inside of you that we need to talk about, but people are scared to talk about it because religion. And you take these things and you put them together. And I learned from my mentors that taught about Buddhism. And I've learned from people that talked about Christianity. And I say, hey, let me listen to all of your perspective and let me form my own opinion. And now it's time for me to share parts of my own perspective. And whether you take it or not is up to you. Like I said, I'm not here to change you. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to share with you guys my results in my training. Like that's it. This is mental, spiritual, physical. Like I do it all. I read books. That's mental training. I meditate. That's spiritual training. I work out, right? Twitch.tv/Kunshan. You can see me do workout streams, doing martial arts, lifting weights, right? I do all of these things because I like to grow myself. I like to become a better me. Point blank, period. There's no other reason to do it. And saying that and knowing that, that is why I'm successful. That is 100% why I'm successful. Because like I said, I never give up. So not only do I never give up, I choose to strive to better myself. The Thai language, Putai Dai, 44 consonants. I did all of them. Every day I try to learn. My studies have been successful, and I believe I'm ready to teach, but I'm only willing to teach people that are ready to learn. So yeah, join the Discord, link down below if you ever want to have a conversation about these things, these perspectives, because I have no issue sharing mine. And if you have no issue sharing yours, I don't really have an issue listening. So till then, till the next time I see you, this video became way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I guess that's just how it goes, man. I'm not done learning, by the way. I still have more to learn from multiple people. Like I said, I still have books coming in. After I read these books, I'll share them with you. Your success is determined by you. And this is where I talk about perspective again. If you think you're successful, then you're successful. I know I'm successful, right? And I say these things because knowing you are successful versus thinking you're successful, not the same thing. And that's also part of the subconscious, to willingly out loud say, hey, I am successful and I am looking forward to more success. It's very powerful, man. I'm telling you, the world that we live in, when people say be realistic, man, the world that we live in is not normal. I'm telling you, the world that we live in is absolutely not normal. And you would never understand it if your consciousness is down here at the bottom and you only think about yourself. But till then, next time, I'll see you guys. Oh yeah, I gotta go react to some videos because that's what my audience likes. They like watching VTube stuff. I have no issue putting it out. So till next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.